Hey, what is going on everybody, and welcome to Fantasia. For today, we're going to be jumping into another session of Epic 7. Now today, got some more Epic 7 World Championships quarterfinals for you guys to enjoy. This time around, we are looking at the very last matchup here. LV on the left representing the Asia server, and WinterWish on the right representing Global. We see the pre-bans coming in pretty quickly over here. Aiden and Zio pre-banned by LV. And we got Ayola and Lua getting banned out by WinterWish. And those are my pre-bans in RTA. And we don't see any ML Landy pre-bans coming out. So she is going to get picked by LV, who had the first choice here in this match. And we're going to see follow-up with a Meteor to Calwarick and C. Lilius on WinterWish's side. Now, LV is taking a more aggressive approach, it seems, so Pera and Ron getting picked out, both really strong openers here, and they have quite a few debuffs that they can use to deal with the C. Lilius and the ML Calwarick. So, first of all, Ron has a Stigma in his S3, and he has immunity on his S2. The immunity will protect from the C. Lilius S3, so there's not going to be an attack down put onto his ML Landy. Ron also has the ability to Stigma, which prevents, decreases the combat readiness gain by 50%. So if ML Calwarick over on the other side has something like Warhorn, for example, he's not going to be able to cut as efficiently. Pera as well also has Restrict, which prevents the ML Calwarick from cutting, and she has an Unbuffable, which actually prevents C. Lilius from putting Vigor buff on everybody. But what we see in return is WinterWish going for a pretty interesting play, Senya pick and a Troublemaker Crozet. So this Troublemaker Crozet probably going to be protecting Senya in the back line as the solo DPS carry. Might see another solo DPS carry getting picked up as the last unit here. Oh, but we're going to see an ML Rowana get picked out. Really nice to see here. Now, I was originally in the camp of the people who thought that she needed a buff, but now that I've seen her in action in these very aggressive cleave teams, she is something else. The amount of effectiveness you can build on her is insane, and most units just cannot resist. Even if you build full resist units, they cannot resist an ML Rowana, and once they reset your cleansers like DJB or any other faster cleanser unit, it's pretty much over. Cecilia getting banned out though, along with the Ed, seems pretty typical. Ed can pretty much solo the left team if the Landy is banned out there, and Cecilia poses a huge threat to Senya. So WinterWish probably knowing that the Ed was going to get banned and chose to ban the Summer at Time Assyria instead. Still not looking too great for WinterWish here though. He does have a decent matchup with Senya into two ice units, and Senya is pretty decent into ML Landy, but with a couple lucky crits on LV's side, I think Senya can get taken down pretty quickly. Let's see what Ron's going to do. Immunity buff on everyone. RNL procced immediately at the start of the match. He's going to Soul Burn. Okay. Rowana to be able to carry souls here is very, very important. And he gets the hit on Senya. That is huge. So right here, this Senya, essentially on death's door, right? ML Landy is pretty far back in the combat readiness bar. However, we might see Rowana here just reset everybody, including hand guys. So there's not going to be a cleanse coming out on WinterWish's side. This is going to be absolutely devastating here, right? Pera gets to go afterwards. She's not a damage dealer by any means. However, she can give an attack buff to the ML Landy, which can be very valuable. We did see the Meteor to Calwarick resist, though. Resist the Rowana, actually. Probably a 15% right there. And so he's actually going to be able to cleanse everything, which is pretty good. I don't think WinterWish can ask for anything more here. Pera landing a bunch of debuffs on everybody, hitting the Senya once again. So Senya losing these 50-50s. But yeah, getting that escort buff, helping protect the team. ML Landy actually getting to push up. She's gonna steal the turn. And I think she can actually take down something like C. Lilius over here. She could actually Soul Burn to go for... Oh, she's actually just going for the Senya right here, right now. Getting that salvo coming in. She crit the Senya on the S1. This is really bad. The salvo doing so much damage. WinterWish's team essentially in shambles right now. LV is sitting pretty comfortably, although all of his units are in the back line. If this Ron gets taken out, though, then essentially it's a 2-for-1, because if Ron is gone, then Rowana won't be able to take the turn, right? Because she's basically built with 0 speed, and she has minus 50% combat readiness gain from speed, which means she's essentially, at this point, a dead unit. Gonna be a unit that WinterWish can definitely hit for free if they don't want to hit the the Landy there, because you don't want to proc her counters. And this Senya's looking pretty comfortable now. Now, obviously, you want to try to strip this Landy. There we go, very nice. Got that attack down onto her, so she's not going to hit as hard. And hopefully with that barrier on the Senya, she'll be very well protected. Troublemaker Crozet, he has his S3 available. He could actually push up the Senya, give her a few buffs that can help protect her. We'll see him probably do that right here, because he was reset, I believe, on the previous turn, so he had no choice but to just S1. Okay, so we're going to see those buffs come in here. She, unfortunately, because she's a knight, she doesn't get the anti-crit buff. She gets a barrier and a defense buff instead. Now she's going to Soulburn her S3, because she was also reset last turn. Now she's going to get her counterattack buff. Let's see, she is on lifesteal build, so that is pretty good. She's going to proc the barrier here, going to replenish her buffs, and give her team a little bit more protection. So Salvo coming in, but this Landy now, look at her. She's attacked down, provoked, and blinded. This could definitely go into Senya's favor right here, especially because that reflect damage is doing work, and the Spear of a New Dawn right there, also fantastic damage with that greater attack buff EE on that Senya. Landy, though, still getting to Salvo. This isn't looking great. I mean, Troublemaker Crozet is getting really low. If he goes down, Senya's damage mitigation essentially goes out the window. Para's going to replenish that Escort buff, make sure that Landy stays alive. I don't know if this Landy's going to go down this turn. She is in a Provoke lock, though, which is very nice for the Senya. And I guess, yeah, WinterWish is just going to try and chip her down. There's no point in waiting. Even if you hit something like the Rowana, there's a chance for Elbrus to proc, so you might as well. Okay, very nice. So Landy was provoked onto Senya. That reflect damage kills her off. And there you go, LV going down. WinterWish taking this win. Very unexpected from that draft there. But yeah, it all came down to that Senya essentially not getting crit all too much, getting one giant crit from that ML Landy, which again took like half her health down. And all those defense breaks and debuffs landing. It was really, really unlucky for WinterWish, but he managed to pull out in the end. Right. So LV lost the last round. He gets to pick the first pick this time around. Gonna go for ML Landy yet again. It's a pretty safe pick overall. Although you do have to be prepared for the consequences of the pick there. See Lilius coming out along with DJB. WinterWish going for a bit more aggressive of a draft, kind of anticipating a Ron or a Peyra, so going for that DJB as an early cleanser instead of something like ML Cowrick. See Lilius also going to be pretty decent into this Landy. It prevents you from getting trapped in these last two picks on LV's side. You at least prevent yourself from getting Straze and Lycud. ML, Leica, and Straze essentially make fights into a 3v4, so you'd be put at a huge disadvantage if you're fighting against them and you don't have a speed contester. We see, ooh, okay, very nice. WinterWish gonna go with the Arwell and the Lone Crescent Bologna on the right side here, and that's going up against the Lionheart Sirmia and an Ocean Breeze Luluka. Now, the Ocean Breeze Luluka is not going to do all that much, because if she goes and debuffs the team after C. Lilius takes a turn, DJB can follow up and cleanse afterwards, which is no big deal. The Lionheart Sirmia and the ML Landy to get on the same team is a little problematic for WinterWish, because you'd probably want the Lionheart Sirmia in this case to help out against this ML Landy. But LV is going to take that because this Lionheart can actually punish the C. Lilius and the ML Bologna on the other side. LRK and Pirate Captain Flan getting picked out here. That's not really great for WinterWish because now he has the last pick. Gonna opt to go for the Lethe. But this essentially gives LV a damage mitigation unit in the form of LR Crow, and he actually has pretty good AoE damage that ramps up over the course of the match. Pirate Captain Flan looking like she probably is going to be the ban here, yep. Just in case DJB gets banned out, you're not going to have any immunity buffs, you're not going to have a cleanser, and something like Lone Crescent Bologna and Lethe could just really get locked down easily by a single Pirate Captain Flan. Unfortunately for WinterWish though, LV looks like he's in a pretty good position because the damage mitigation unit is banned out. DJB doesn't tend to do very well in prolonged fights. And with C. Lilius, typically most C. Lilius is now on this higher tier of play, are pretty bulky and they're usually on Proof of Valor, but even then, without damage mitigation on WinterWish's side, this Lethe and Bologna are looking a little vulnerable, right? Especially with the true damage coming in from LR Crow and the RNG that comes out from Landy in particular. See, Lilia's going to go ahead and provoke this crowd, but, you know, Luluka's just going to brush that off. Give the ice cream buff to everybody, and we're going to see an extra attack coming in. So she's going to run over the team with her ice cream truck. And, oh, the blind and the silence coming in onto the Bellona. Nothing on the Lethe so far. Don't know if the DJB really wants to cleanse as of right now. Yeah, so he's going to hold on to it and actually hit the LRK for a bit of damage there. He hasn't used his S3 yet, the LRK, so it's safe to hit him. He won't get any cooldown reductions since his S3 is already available. Lethe's going to go ahead and hit this Lionheart Sermia, put an Omen on her, which is not bad. Lethe can go ahead and Soul Burn next turn, get that S3 going, and then S1 into the Lionheart and try to take her out. If she can land the Frostbite, it's going to be huge. It prevents the damage sharing with the LRK. But Lionheart Sermia going to be coming in, and I don't know if this Bellona is going to survive. There's no damage mitigation, like I mentioned. Vigor buff doesn't seem like it would be enough from a Lionheart S3. Follow up with an S1. Oh my god, she doesn't even need the S1 really to kill. Look at this, Bellona is on a few hundred hit points there, and down she goes. Landy's gonna go, and she can actually just go ahead and, yeah, hit the Lethe with that Soul Burn. The Salvo's gonna finish off the DJB, potentially Lilius. No, she's still gonna survive, but this Lethe against LV's entire team is just not gonna cut it. That Lionheart Sermia did so much work, right? She single-handedly carried. I mean, I know Landy was the one that got some of the salvo kills, and she's doing quite a bit of damage here, but that Lionheart Sermia was definitely the right play. Now, if he can land a Frostbite here with his Lethe, WinterWish should be able to kill. There we go, Frostbite landed. Should be able to kill with this Lethe. She's 28k health. That is going to be a lot of damage coming in. Oh, that Landy's counter is gonna hurt, though. If Lethe can kill, she will be able to heal the team. So let's see what she's able to do. She is 19k damage, but the healing is just not enough. And even with the restrict buff on this Landy, the counters are still going to do a lot of damage. Here we go. She's going to have that S1 there, trying to focus down the Lethe. Oh, and there goes another salvo. Yep, with that Lionheart combination with that ML Landy, just a little bit too much for WinterWish to face down all at once. Okay, wow, these matches are going pretty quick here. Round number 3 already. We're only about 12 minutes in. So LV is not taking first pick this time around. WinterWish saying, hey, pass the baton over here. I'm taking the ML Landy. Let's see what you can do about it. LV is going to go ahead and pick up the Sea Lilies and a Lionheart. He knows the power of Lionheart against the ML Landy. He's not going to let WinterWish do what he did to him last round, right? Take the ML Landy and the Lionheart Sermia and punish that Sea Lilius pick hard. Now, Pear is going to be coming out here with Restrict and Unbuffable, which is quite good. Obviously, Lionheart Sermia can cleanse herself. However, the Peira is really nice for preventing the Sea Lilius from buffing the team. Apoc Ravi is going to be coming out as well. She's pretty good into Lionheart Sermia, a very neutral DPS pick into her, especially because Apoc Ravi, if you're not built on a counter build, most people are on Destruction nowadays, you're not really going to proc the Lionheart Sermia. You're pretty good damage into her, and Lionheart can't typically solo an A Ravi. So this is looking pretty solid for WinterWish right here. And A Ravi with an anti-crit buff from that ML Landy at the start of the battle is also going to be really annoying to deal with. Let's see what LV decides to go for. Dien getting picked out. Very interesting. Been seeing Dien quite a few times in this tournament here. Opting not to go for the hand guy. I guess the anti-crit from Dien is going to be pretty valuable in this case. Spectre Tenebria also getting picked up. We'll see how it goes. Spectre is typically not great into something like ML Landy because of her AoE potential, but with Dien's anti-crit, barrier, healing, and Sea Lilius' vigor buff, Spectre might be able to survive. And it really depends on what type of build she is on, whether she's a lifesteal bruiser, which can definitely help out quite a bit with sustain, or if she is a destruction Spectre built with all damage and very little bulk. Alright, so we see Ocean Breeze Luluka get picked up. Pretty good unit into this Sea Lilius. Can also force the Dien to use her cleanse early, when she doesn't want to. Diane can also only cleanse 2 debuffs, so if Para gets to go and lands the unbuffable and restrict, and then Luluka gets to go, if she's able to land the blind and the silence, Diane won't be able to cleanse all of that at once. So overwhelming the team with debuffs is certainly a way to go. WinterWish also closing out with the Solitaria. So speaking of debuffs, the War Criminal herself has appeared in the draft, and she looks like she could do pretty well here, right? Now, obviously, Lionheart Sirmia, it poses a threat to the Solitaria, but you can definitely control her. If Ocean Breeze Luluka does her extra attack before the Solitaria goes and proc the Lionheart Sirmia, then you can use your Solitaria to control the Lionheart, and you can have her locked down for the next couple of turns. Fire Lily is still getting picked up here. She's a pretty decent cleanser overall. However, she might struggle a little bit into the opponent's side. Yeah, so we're going to see Lionheart as a solo DPS. Spectre Tenebria getting banned out along with that Solitaria, just too overwhelming in terms of debuffs. Now the Fire Lilies can struggle a little bit because Ocean Breeze Luluka could technically just hold on to her skills. There's no real need to cleanse super early, especially if it's just an attack down and a Ravi. But we'll see what happens here. Para's going to go ahead and use her S2 as an opening move. You see the restrict on the Lilia. She did get an EE actually that allows her to push up combat readiness. So let's see if that applies here. Ooh, okay. So we see the combat readiness of the Lilia is going up, and Luluka is also pushed up here. See, Fire Lily is actually pretty good into an Ocean Breeze Luluka, acts as a secondary cleanser for the team, right, which is much appreciated, much needed. Ocean Breeze Luluka now has a choice of going for an S3. If she goes for an S3 and she gets full focus, she's going to use her Ice Cream Truck skill, which we're going to see right here, and that's going to proc the Lionheart Sirmia. So when the Lionheart Sirmia gets proc, she will be able to unleash another S3 into WinterWish's team, and judging from the last match, I don't think he really wants to eat another one of these. Now Fire Lilius gets to go. She gets to actually S3 if she wants to. Get rid of all the ice cream buffs on the other side and cleanse all the debuffs from his team. So 6 debuffs gone with just a click of a button. And now we see, yeah, the counters coming in from the Landy. Ooh, a salvo following up as well. That's not looking good for LV. His team is looking rather hurt. Right, a lot of HP lost on his side. WinterWish is looking pretty healthy though. Only attack down on that APOC Ravi actually. The immunity on that Landy definitely helping out quite a bit. Alright, Steel Lily's going to go ahead and provoke the Ravi, prevent her from using S3 shenanigans, and we see the DN coming in with an S2 just to get some CR pushing and get a nice chunky berry on everyone. That is pretty good, and that's definitely going to be a temporary bandage solution to what we see here. Lionheart Sirmia going to go ahead and dish some revenge damage into the opponent, and not a lot of damage coming out, to be honest. Right, a little bit of damage onto the APOC Ravi. Ocean Breeze Luluka taking the brunt of it. She's actually going to be the focus of Lionheart's second follow-up attack. And now it's Landy's turn. So not enough fighting spirit to unleash an S3 at the start, but she does have an attack buff and a defense buff, and looking pretty solid. Lionheart Sirmia pretty low on her health too. Not looking like she's in the best situation here. Another untimely counter and salvo from Landy could definitely take her out. Para's going to go for the S1 onto the Lionheart, try to stun her here. Not going to work out. And we're going to see, hopefully DN is able to buff this Lionheart Sirmia back up. We see the LV attacking this Landy in hopes of getting a counter, just so the Lionheart can proc, which is very smart. Going for the S3 now on the DN, you get the anti-crit buff onto this Lionheart. A lot of healing from Rod of Amaryllis too, so she's looking like she's in a much better state than she was earlier. Do have to keep in mind though, defense buffs on that Luluka and on that ML Landy could be really hard for this Lionheart to deal significant damage. Now Para could potentially go down from all the damage share from that escort buff. Oh, and we start seeing the crits coming in. Look at that! Absolutely beautiful! So Luluka looking really low on health. Landy unfortunately still pretty healthy. APOC Ravi, about a third of her health is missing. But most importantly, that Para and that damage mitigation is gone. So look at the hefty damage coming in now onto the APOC Ravi. The unfortunate thing is Landy does have her S3. This could spell disaster for LV's Lionheart here. Oh, and no crit, but even with no crit, LV's entire team just dissolves. Diane is gone, and Apoc Robbie is going to be taking the turn trying to clean up this double Lilius team. Oh man, that is very unfortunate. And look, this Landy is just still popping off the Elbrus and the counters. It's absolutely insane. So LV is going to concede, and WinterWish is now leading 2-1. Going to the 4th draft here, a lot of pre-bans coming out. These units are just adding up, right? And we're starting to see a lot of these units are really good control units. We have Summertime Assyria, Pyrocopter Flan, Solitaria, Arwell, Spectre Tenebria, Aeola, Zio, all units that are banned out and that offer a ton of utility. This is probably one of the reasons why we're not seeing ML Coward getting picked up very often here. As you can see, both players, even though they're playing standard, they're not opting to go for those cleansers here. ML Landy getting picked up by LV as the first pick, and Ocean Breeze Luluka as a follow-up. See Lilius and LRK getting picked up as well. So that Ocean Breeze Luluka and Lionheart in response to that. Pretty decent response. Both of those units are really punishing for that C Lilius on the other side. You don't want a dual attack because that procs Lionheart Sirmia. And if you use a non-attack skill, that's going to proc the Ocean Breeze Luluka. We see the LRK and the Bologna get picked out on WinterWish's side. We see a DN get picked up as well. Again, very interesting how popular she is in this tournament. We also saw her previously used in other matches, right? So, yeah, let's see how this draft closes up. LV gonna go for Peyra. Pretty decent unit into DN, especially because you get that unbuffable, you get that restrict as well, preventing DN from really doing her job until she S2s first for the cleanse. But again, like we mentioned earlier, Peyra with that Ocean Breeze Luluka offers a lot of debuff stacks and utility, and DN can't cleanse all of that in one go, not like ML Coward can. WinterWish gets the last pick here. LV opting to go finish his draft with a Briarwitch Assyria, which is very strong. Again, carrying a multitude of debuffs here, right? Defense Break along with the Unbuffable in her S3 can definitely leave WinterWish's team in a pretty dire position. We're going to see the draft close out on WinterWish's side with ML Kawazu. Quite the pick here. He's going to be pretty decent into everything, actually, on the left side. He's going to ML Landy. He can proc off of the Ocean Breeze Luluka or the Peyra or the Briseria S3. And he can nuke the Lionheart Sirmia. Well, that is, if he didn't nuke her in the ban phase here. So Lionheart Sirmia is gone. Deanna is gone from the right side. LV is saying, hey, look, I'm the only one here who can play with anti-crit. You gotta get out of here, buddy. So WinterWish starting the match off here. See Lilius gonna go ahead and pop off. Vigor buff coming out for WinterWish's side. Unfortunately, though, he doesn't really have a cleanser, so Ocean Breeze Luluka, if she rips her S3, you're gonna see potential blind and silence on this Bologna, and that is not great. It's not what you want to see, especially if you're WinterWish right here. You definitely want to have a cleanser. So, Ocean Breeze Luluka gonna go ahead and pop off her skill. Ice Cream buff for everybody, Ice Cream to go around, and here comes the extra attack. Let's see who she hits. Ooh, okay. So we got the blind on the Bologna, silence and blind on the C Lilius. Actually pretty impactful there, especially the debuffs on the Bologna. She hasn't even taken a turn. Peyra's gonna go, ripping that S2. Kawazu had popped earlier, and he's gonna be taking this follow-up turn. We can see Peyra, though, going for an escort buff. That can actually definitely protect his units from getting one-shot by this Kawazu, especially because most Kawazus out there are built with bulk instead of damage, so you're probably not going to guarantee any kills, even with his S3 with a bigger buff. He's going to rip it anyway. No attack buff on his Kawazu. Going to go straight for the Landy. Counters coming up. He got double burns, and ooh, 10k damage, but it's not enough. That escort buff definitely helping out quite a bit, mitigating a lot of that damage output there. LRK gets to go. If that damage share wasn't there with the escort buff, I think this S3 probably could have killed the ML Landy, but because that mitigation unit was there in the form of Peyra, yeah, Landy is going to survive. Fortunately, Peyra looks like her barrier is pretty much over, and she is really fragile looking with her stealth. WinterWish Assyria gonna go, pop off her S3. Look at all those debuffs coming out. Unbuffables, restrict, silence, blinds, and a defense break on the Emma Bologna is looking terrible. She is gonna gamble, going for the S3 here right away. Gonna get that kill onto that Landy, which is very nice. Unfortunately, everyone's unbuffable here, so you can't replenish the vigor on the entire team. And yeah, it's not looking too great. This Bologna with that defense break is super vulnerable. Even if it's just a solo Bryceria on the other side, she could potentially do it because both Pera and Bryceria are blinded, and we have 2 single target units on WinterWish's side. So Bologna and Kawazu can't really reach any stealth units. Kawazu needs to charge up to get his S2 to get ready to be procced. Either that or he gets rid of the unbuffable somehow and has to get that vigor buff from the C. Lilius. Look at that damage coming in onto the Bologna. She's so low on health, and this is getting close down to the wire. LRK just chipping away. Again, there's no AoE damage to get these units out of stealth. Right, Bologna's getting slowly chipped down. I think she probably will end up going down before she could take another turn, unless there's a lucky turn of events here. So we see Lulika going to go. Oh, never mind. Briarwitch not able to essentially cut the Bologna here, but it doesn't matter because she's so low anyway that she is going to be taken out. So down she goes. No room for Sigurd or anything like that to happen. And we see the Briarwitch Assyria, you know, replenishing back up to replenishing herself but with her stealth, so she's now hidden again. Now this LRK gonna go and again, it's just chipping away at this Lulika. She is essentially acting as a giant barrier for the units behind her. And here's the problem, she actually has her S3 back up again. Now the bad thing is, if you pop this S3, or the S1 actually, it doesn't matter, it's inevitable at this point, she will proc her extra attack, and that extra attack is going to give Kawazu the vigor buff. Now, is that going to be enough time that she has bought for her team? Probably. The ice cream buff over here going to keep everyone nice and healthy even after she goes down, and I don't think Bryceria's immortality has been procced either, so not looking too great. Kawazu though is replenishing his HP. He is in a much better position now. Last Rider Crow has his S3 available, but he is going to get that unbuffable on him, and that's not looking too good. The unbuffable is going to prevent that immunity buff from coming out. And oh, he is going to get stunned by the Pera, the Soul Burn. No 15% coming out there. Alright, we see a dual attack coming in onto this Lulika. Yeah, I think the Bryceria can definitely try to finish off this Kawazu. Yep, get as much damage as you can into him. He is looking real low. About a third of his health is remaining. Only about 13k total HP right now, and it's definitely because it dropped due to Frenzy stacking up. So we see the S3 coming in. Lulika is going to go down, ignore resistance, and a detonation. Briarwitch Assyria, again, stealth with this Pera. Now the issue when both units are stealth is that you can only hit, you can hit both of them. Right, if both units are stealth, you can choose which one you want to hit. Thankfully, Pera actually goes out of stealth over here. Briarwitch has a chance to re-proc her stealth, so she is now going to go for the S3, see what damage she can do with it, and it takes down Emma Kawazu! Ooh! In fact, the LRK goes down as well! The Frenzy stacking up, a lot of damage going to be coming out from this Briarwitch, and look at that, C. Lilius I don't think can do this, so there it is. The surrender button is pressed, and LV takes the 4th match. Both players are now equal, right, on 2-2 in terms of their points. And so now we're going to be jumping into the last round of this match over here. LV looking pretty satisfied with himself back there, as we could see in their webcam. WinterWish now opting to go for another Landy first pick. Landy's one of those units that, you know, if you don't pick her and you don't want to fight her, you're in a weird position. If you don't pre-ban her out, you know, in these cases, she's just going to keep getting tossed back and forth, and players just refuse to ban her in the post-ban phase, and it's really hard to, right? If you're, for example, WinterWish's side here, and LV is picking his 4 units, this 4th unit's really crucial, because once he gets this unit locked in, you essentially know exactly what you're fighting. and so WinterWish here can pick out 2 units to counter LV's units, and most of the time, 99% of the time, the 2 units at the end are the ones you definitely want to ban. So you can't afford to ban the ML Landy, or else you're going to just die to the other 2 units that are specifically picked to counter pick your entire team. So, you know, without a pre-ban Landy, she's going to get passed back and forth, and it's really bad. Right, but speaking of the last 2 units over here on WinterWish's side, let's see what he does. We got a Para and a DJB, which is pretty good. Those 2 units are usually picked together, and DJB is pretty decent for barrier inverting the Lilius S2, or potentially the Hand Guys S2. And we see Para coming out for the Unbuffables on LV's side, preventing Lilius from Vigor buffing everybody. Again, still very, very nice. And the Restrict buff onto the ML Cowrick prevents him from cleansing, at least delays him from doing so. APOC Ravi, though, going to get picked out as the 4th unit, the 2nd DPS on WinterWish's team, and he's fine with single target units this time around because neither Bellona nor Kawazu can go into stealth here. So having units of DPS these guys down is going to be very useful. Ocean Breeze Luluka getting picked up as the last unit. So APOC Ravi could be a solo DPS here, or the ML Landy. I think they're going to fight the ML Landy instead of the APOC. Yeah, there you go. So, yeah, the reason why I say that is because LV specifically designed his team to handle this Landy. Got the Bellona, the Kawazu, the Remnant Violet, 3 DPSs to deal with the ML Landy, and has pretty good odds against her, right? So we see the Hand Guy getting banned out there, so no cleansing on the side of LV, but WinterWish gonna open up and just riddle his team with debuffs here. Unfortunately, ML Kawazu gets to cleanse, and Rylet was not hit, but the Unbuffable and the Restrict onto the Bellona is pretty nice. There's not going to be much that LV can really do in this case, because he does have a Cleanser on his team. Meanwhile, WinterWish going to go ahead and pop the Luluka, and look, even more debuffs are going to be coming in now. Silences, provokes, you name it. Oh, and look at that, Kawazu actually gets blinded and silenced as well. That is going to be really, really tough for LV to come back after this, right? And Rylet too, look at him, he got hit by that Luluka's extra attack, so he is now blinded and silenced. Unfortunately, he doesn't have an unbuffable. If he did, he would not be able to get that, the revive buff, or sorry, the evasion buff back up on him. Kawazu going to just use his S1, he's not going to risk it, he's blind, but unfortunately by the time his blind wears off, he's going to lose his vigor as well, unless there's going to be a pop coming out from Lilius to help replenish that vigor buff. And unfortunately that's not going to come anytime soon, because Para going to go for that stun right there. Right, Bellona is going to get a nice little crit, despite having all those debuffs on her. And now we're going to see the Luluka, again just hitting that Lilius. Now, what I would say here is that LV needs to be very careful about this Landy on the other side. Try and take her out as soon as possible. Rylet has his evasion back up, and unfortunately, though, we got a blind coming in on this Bellona yet again from the DJB. Very smart of him to use the S2. Those blinds are going to prevent this Kawazu from doing much, unless he's going to YOLO it. So here, can he land it? He does land the hit onto Landy. 3 burns coming out. Oh my god, Landy is so low with just barely over 1,000 health left. This Rylet's definitely going to be able to finish her off, unfortunately. He's going to soul burn this, try to get some healing from the salvo, but is it going to be enough? I don't think so. Right, Vigor buff coming out from the ML Kawazu, he's pushing up here, and yeah, Landy is just looking really low in terms of her max health, so not great, not great. DJB does get pushed up from this Ocean Breeze Luluka S1, and Rylet's going to be taking the next turn, so we'll see. We got the healing on DJB coming out onto this Landy, and we see the, I believe it was Garden Ice Crystals there as well. Oh, but the Rylet critting! What are the odds of that? He has a blind that makes the hit a 50-50. Landing has 70% of anti-crit, right? And there you go. Wow, WinterWish is gonna concede it. LV is gonna take it. Alright, well guys, that was pretty fast. Those are some pretty fast-paced matches. If you want to see more Epic 7 World Championship coverage, be sure to subscribe to the channel. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video, and I will see you all next time. Take care.